I don't know, people realize how difficult it has become to simply sit still. Not because humans suddenly change, but because modern life is designed to pull your attention somewhere else. And when your attention stays fragmented for long enough, something deeper starts fragmenting too. Lately, I've been noticing something strange in my own life. Even after long work shifts, when I was physically exhausted, my mind still couldn't slow down. I come home tired, sit down for a minute, pick up my phone, and suddenly an hour vanished. Shorts, scrolling, random information, noise. I remember sitting on the edge of my bed, still smelling like a kitchen, thumb moving automatically, and realizing I wasn't even choosing but to watch. My hands was just doing it. And the strange part is that while it is happening, it doesn't even feel unusual anymore. That's what bothers me. Not the phone itself, but how automatically the behavior has become. Attention becoming the currency. I think one of the most biggest changes in the modern life is that attention has become one of the most valuable resource in the world. Every app, every platform, every notification just wants your attention, and they are competing for it, because the longer something holds your attention, the more influence it has over your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, and eventually your behavior. And most people don't fully realize this because the distraction no longer feels aggressive. It feels normal. The battle is quiet, but it's happening every single time when you open your screen. The death of silence. There used to be empty moments in life, waiting in line, sitting quietly, walking without stimulation, doing nothing for few minutes. Now almost every empty second gets filled instantly. The boredom disappears the moment it appears. At first, that sounds harmless, convenient even, but when there is no silence, there is also very little reflection. Most people don't realize this, but the moment silence starts to feel uncomfortable, your mind isn't resting anymore. It's craving stimulation like a reflex, and that reflex slowly rewires what feels normal to you. Overstimulation. Human mind was never designed to absorb this much stimulation constantly. Thousands of images, opinions, videos, conversation, comparison every single day. And after a while, your brain starts to adapting the constant novelty. Stillness feels to become uncomfortable. Slower thoughts become harder to stay with, and focus start to break in smaller and smaller pieces. I remember one night after work, not in a dramatic way, just mentally drained. My feet hurts, my head feels heavy, and even though my body wants rest, I still kept reaching for more stimulation, more scroll, more videos, more noise. Not because I needed information, but because silence itself started feeling unfamiliar, and that realization stayed with me. Because if silence feels wrong, then being alone with your own mind feels wrong too. What happens to people? I think this is a part of reason why most people feel mentally overwhelmed now. Not because they are weak, but because their attention is constantly pulled in different directions. When attention stays fragmented long enough, thinking becomes shallow. People struggle to focus deeply, struggle to stay present, struggle to sit with difficult thoughts. Even identity starts becoming reactive. You begin comparing constantly, consuming constantly, reacting constantly, and after a while, it becomes difficult to tell which thoughts are actually yours and which ones were quietly placed there by you and which one were quietly placed by what you have been constantly consuming. The invisible cost. The dangerous part is that this kind of exhaustion is hard to explain. From outside, life can simply look normal. You're functioning, working, scrolling, talking, and living. But internally, there is constant mental noise running underneath everything. Never fully here, never fully rested, just slightly scattered at all time. And I think a lot of people feel that, even if they don't have words for it yet. Reclaiming attention. I don't think the answer is completely escaping the technology. That's unrealistic. Technology is a part of modern life now, but I do think there is something important about being conscious of where your attention is going, because attention shapes experiences and experiences over time shapes identity. So if your attention is constantly controlled by external systems, at some point your internal life starts becoming shaped by them too. Reclaiming your attention doesn't start with big lifestyle change. It starts with small, quiet question. What has my mind been filled with today? And did I choose it? The problem is not that people think too much anymore. Problem is that most people never stayed with one thought long enough to truly understand it. And that's why the modern life feels so mentally loud, because our days are full of thoughts and almost none of them are fully lived through.